Hey, welcome back, Donald Mowers Electrical Services. So I wanted to do a video about if someone wants to be an electrician or is contemplating a career as an electrician, and there are some bad steps that you might take, and maybe this video might help you not to take them. There are companies out there that will hire you and not allow you to continue your education on your way to becoming a master mechanic. They'll tell you you don't need a license, you don't need a journeyman's card. They can say that they can put you in a truck and they'll give you a good wage. My advice is not to listen to them. And this is why. The moment you pass a journeyman's test, you at that point can go to any company and state that you are at this level and you deserve this much rate. And then depending on the market, you can bargain your rate, whether how much you get paid, your benefits, things of that nature. But if you don't have a journeyman's card, you're almost being fed to the wolves, because the rates are much worse. Same thing with, besides the journeyman's card, an ICC certification. If you've been a mechanic for 10 years, but you don't have an ICC certification, you're going to be at a different pay bracket versus a guy that does have an ICC certification. He can walk in and he can kind of control the job interview. That's why I stress education to anyone that comes and applies for a job with my company. Education is, especially if you want to be a knowledgeable mechanic and you really want this, like, it's not just a job, it's a career, and there's a big difference in that. A job is something that you get to it, you work 8 hours, you don't think to, like, not that you don't think, but it's just a job. Like, anyone can go apply for a job, but a career, it's almost in your blood. Like, I know the theories, at home, I can't stop thinking about it. I wish I could. And that's how I knew it was going to be a career for me, because it was so embedded in my bones. And I love my career. Yes, there are areas I want to proceed into, and I am proceeding into them. You can always educate yourself. Believe me, I learn things about older homes every year. And even in commercial, I learn things. I still do commercial. I don't do a whole lot of commercial. Maybe 20% of my work is commercial work. But I do. Like, I can still bid it. Am I comfortable bidding big commercial? No. I'm not really geared for big commercial. I can bid it, and then I can bring in guys that are on the commercial side of the job. My brother's a commercial electrician, and his apprenticeship, his mentor was extremely hard on him. You kind of want that. My mentor was extremely hard on me. I've gotten tools thrown at me, cursed at me. A good mentor will break you down to build you back up. Okay, because when you get out of high school, you're arrogant. You got a big head. You don't know anything about life, but you think you know everything. And a mentor understands that, so they'll break you down to build you back up. Now, because of mine, I'm a master electrician. Okay, because of my brother's mentor, he's basically a master electrician. He didn't take his test yet, but he knows more about commercial than I could ever know. Some of the stuff, the tricks he does with bending rigid by hand is amazing. Because you don't always have a hydraulic bender on hand, and sometimes when you're doing, like, he does gas station work. When you're doing gas station work, the pipes are small enough you can use a hand bender, but it's rigid, so it's a lot different than bending EMT. But let's get back to this apprenticeship here. So if you're in high school or even young in your 20s and you want to be an electrician, the first thing I'll tell you to do is go to school. It doesn't have to be a high dollar program. It could just be your local community college that's teaching electrical theory. When you get out of school, like, put in the time. It won't take long. Put in the time. But when you get out of school, be careful of the hype that the school gives you. Some schools tell you you're going to be a mechanic within 6 months, blah, 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 and it's all bullshit. You're not. Okay? It takes a long time to become a mechanic. And some of these guys coming out of these trade schools, they're a little bit too cocky. They're pumped up, full of all these dreams that I guess the school's selling them because they're spending over $16,000 for a trade school. They're going to pump them up full of all these expectations that just, they're not true. Sorry to say, maybe I'm bursting your bubble here and you're thinking that way, but you're just entering a site and the only thing you have is theory behind you, which it's good. It's going to take time to learn how to apply that theory on a practical setting. Theory is different for new construction versus renovation work. The codes are different. Not theory. The theory is the same, but the codes are different. So codes for new construction are different than codes for renovation. Knob and tube remediation. Okay, this is an example. So when we rewire knob and tube, we're guaranteeing that we're removing all the cloth from the home. We do not have to bring the house up to present day code. So the linear wall footage doesn't have to have appropriate outlets of today's standards because we're only removing the knob and tube. So we only have to rewire to present conditions. That's a big difference there because the cost is very, very different. All right. So that's how you have to learn how to apply the code correctly, and that takes time. So when you get out of school, the first thing I would tell you to do is new construction. If you want to be a residential electrician or if you want to be a commercial electrician, whatever you're kind of pointing towards, go to new construction. It's going to teach you the skeleton or the power distribution with the walls open. All right. And it's easier to apply what you learned in school in that type of setting. So if you get out of school and you can get into an outfit, at least for 6 months to a year, work in new construction. I did. We wired up, I don't know how many homes. I think it was 120 homes. So it was like a 2-day rough, 2-day finish. And it teaches you how 3-ways are ran, how your outlets are jumped out, where your feeders go, what's the best pathway for feeders. It teaches you so much that it's a priceless bit of education. After you do your new construction, I would then advise you to start looking for companies for experience. And this is where you have to be careful of some of these companies that they're going to hinder your further education if you go to the wrong company. They'll put you either on a crew and then you're only learning from the people around you. They're not really teaching you to go further in your education. And that helps them. It keeps your pay lower. So the company will make the money and you're just stuck there at a low pay. Where if you get in with a decent, like a smaller company, especially with a guy that has an ICC certification, and you tell him you want to further your education, you want to learn more, you have to show it. Guys aren't going to show you the trade unless you show incentive to learn the trade. So if you're showing up and you're hungover, you're tired, or you're groggy, they're not going to take you seriously. But if you show up and your boots are strapped, your shirt's tucked in, and you look presentable, you're clean shaven, you don't smell like booze, a master mechanic is going to spend more time on you because he sees an investment in you. He sees that you're taking this career seriously. That is where, when you start looking for companies, you want to be molded based on what that owner has. So if the owner is successful and he has a couple guys and he has a nice house and you see what he has, and if that's what you want, well, then it's time for you to shut up and listen to what he's got to tell you, because he's going to teach you. His job, if you do get accepted, if he agrees to teach you the electrical trade, his job is to teach you what he has, okay, and how he got it over a period of years. Don't get me wrong, it takes some time, but that's what an apprenticeship is. He's teaching you a lifestyle, a career choice, okay, and it's not just a job. You don't just show up, he tells you what to do. He tells you why you're doing it, the circumstances of why you're doing it. And the more you apply your book knowledge into the job, the more you're getting closer to becoming a mechanic. And that, it's a fundamental part of your apprenticeship program, is understanding this. Don't just show up on the job and Fridays are party days, Mondays are slow. Like, you have to put forth an effort if you want to excel in this career choice, okay? Because not many people excel in it. Most people have jobs, they get a job, and then they're comfortable, and then, you know, they're only getting paid 16, 18 an hour, when in reality, if you excel in the electrical trade, you can make well over 400 a day, 500 a day. The sky's the limit based on your knowledge. It all comes to, you can't bullshit. Like, you can't go in and low bid a job and slap it all together. You might make it a year or a couple years, but if you're truly knowledgeable and you understand the trade and you understand the craft, your lifestyle will stay the same. Like, yes, you'll have like busy seasons and slow seasons, but your income level will gradually increase and increase and increase. And if someone plateaus you or puts a ceiling there, and you're still educating yourself, no ceiling is going to hold you down. Eventually, okay, let's put it this way: if you bust your ass for a year straight and you excel at everything, if getting up an hour early makes you happier, get up an hour earlier, strap your boots on, do everything you can to make yourself a better mechanic. And even if a company is pigeonholing you or putting a ceiling in front of you, someone will notice you and come and pull you out of that situation, because it'll better their situation. So don't ever think a company is going to hold you back from your own knowledge. If you want knowledge in this trade, you can find it. Okay, you just have to show it. You have to show up every day early, put forth the effort, put forth the time, and I guarantee you'll be rewarded. All right, thank you for watching. I'll make more videos about apprenticeships, but I stress this because there's guys that say they want it, but they don't. Like, they show up to work in flip-flops and they put their boots on out in the truck. That's not showing me you want it. That's showing me you might as well wear your house robe to work. Okay, showing me you want it is showing the incentive. Pack your lunch. Get a structure down. Go to bed early. Wake up early. How about study the code book or study electrical theory an hour before you go to work? Presently, I wake up at 4:45 in the morning. On weekends, I wake up at 6 a.m. But every morning I'm up at 4:45. I have a routine. All right. I try to stress that to these apprentices, because they think they can go out and party and then still excel in their career, and it doesn't work that way. Okay, you might get ahead a little bit, but if a guy's structured about his career versus a guy that's partying, the structured guy is going to be 10 times more successful than the guy that's partying and not really taking his career seriously. That's my opinion. Thank you for watching Donald Motors Electrical Services. Take care. Have a good day. It's Friday. Yeah, have a good one.